We are at Le Bernardin with Eric Ripert, and I'm so excited to be talking about your new memoir, 32 Yolks. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
So this memoir is quite different to a lot of chef memoirs, which usually begin with the time of cooking, and it's really about their career. This actually ends, the book ends with you coming to the US. So it's about your childhood, it's about your early career, and it's extremely personal. How did you decide to focus on that portion of your life and to also kind of really let people in to a lot of the difficulties of your childhood?
Sure. Well, the idea was to leave a legacy that will be inspirational, and inspirational at many levels. And my childhood, I think, is a good example for a lot of people to think about what could be the consequences of their action. And for instance, I come from parents who divorced. I was very young. That had a lot of consequences in my life. And maybe a lot of people can relate to that.
Even just, you speaking about as a child, hearing your parents argue, and it made me very emotional thinking, oh my God, every time I've argued in front of my son, is he listening? Is he,
They do.
I mean, was that important to you to get, because that part is not about cooking, it's not about your life as a chef, it's really about the emotions of a child and sort of how cooking then saved you.
For sure.
Yeah.
But ultimately it had an impact on my performance in school, in my mood, in everything.
Yeah.
However, I had the passion for eating.
Which is clear from a very young age.
Yes, from a very, very young age. We stopped the memoir at the gate when I'm taking the plane to come to America, because then it has been documented already what I have done here in the US in many different ways, through television, through magazines, newspapers, and so on. But I thought the early stage of my career could be also very inspirational for not only young chefs or young cooks, but for a lot of young people who are coming into the work life. And you graduate from school, and it can be an amazing college, it can be an amazing culinary school, anything. When you go in a working environment, you're not an expert. You basically gain a passport to have access to the next level.
Right. I mean, I love the part of the book where you're talking about in culinary school where, your mother, as you detail in the early parts of the book, took you to so many amazing restaurants as a child, and then you get to culinary school and you say, but I don't need to know these basics. If I'm a great chef, I'll never be doing this, and it really gets drilled into you. So
for sure.
That hard work is a huge theme throughout the book.
Absolutely. In culinary school, but then when I start to work in 3-star Michelin, like La Tour d'Argent and Joël Robuchon, I mean, La Tour d'Argent for me, it's really like dramatic, because I thought I would perform really well and they will be happy with me, because I'm a good student. I come, I graduate, and then I realize I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I wanted this book to be really ultimately inspirational.
And it's also a lot about mentorship. I mean, you talk about that first part of Tour l'Argent. I love the scene of him saying, God, making you stay late, and at first you're thinking you're being punished, and it's actually you're being mentored.
I'm being mentored.
And throughout the book, I mean, with Jacques, when you were young, and so was it important for you to highlight those mentors as well? Yes,
of course. I was lucky that despite the fact that I thought a life that was challenging as a young age, I always found some very special people along the way who mentor me with their passion and with their heart. And Jacques was a chef who was by himself in a small restaurant, his wife in a dining room, 20 covers. He was the first real mentor that I had. Difficult man. He was in the French Legion and so on. However, he was extremely patient and compassionate with me. Then in La Tour d'Argent, actually, one of my chefs, Maurice, and even Jean, who was the sous chef of La Tour d'Argent, mentored me. Joël Robuchon is one of my greatest mentors as well. So I have been lucky in life to everywhere find someone who was kind of a father figure or big brother figure and help me.
And you're a public person, but you're also a very private person, and this book is it sort of lays bare a lot of difficulties in your childhood. Was that a challenge for you, or did you sort of decide from the beginning? How did you sort of make that decision to say, like, okay, I'm going to let anyone who wants to know kind of the details of my childhood?
I have no problem to talk about my childhood. Nobody ever asked me, so therefore I never talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's not a problem. I'm very comfortable with my past and the good and the bad of my youth. And when I decided to do the book, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be really sharing everything that I have to share, and with no problem at all. Neither emotionally, or I'm not hiding anything. It's
no. I mean, the book is extremely honest. Yeah. Do you think that honesty, because I think obviously the level to which you've reached and the acclaim that Le Bernardin has reached, I think it will surprise some people perhaps to say, oh wow, we sort of assumed he's had this charmed life, this glamorous life. Is it important to you to kind of show people that no, hard work and you can overcome anything? I mean, was that a part of the book as well?
It's no way to succeed without hard work.
Right.
You cannot reach any great level in any field, and in cooking as well, or in a restaurant business, if you don't work hard, if you don't have the passion. It's a very big commitment. So if people think that Le Bernardin is like this because we just got lucky,
right?
Yes, we got lucky, of course, but behind it, it's teamwork, it's mentoring, it's like I mentioned, a lot of passion and hard work every day going into the process, and that makes Le Bernardin that we see.
Right. I mean, you say mentoring. I like the part of the book where you talk about sort of every time a young chef in your kitchen makes a mistake, and it kind of makes you hark back to some of those moments, because you really detail out some of the moments where you made a lot of errors as a young chef. And I think it's important to show other chefs who might be reading this that it's a process to become great.
I hope a lot of young chefs will read this book as well. Nobody's born with knife skills.
Right.
and I'm sure Mozart, even at 5 years old, although he was a genius, was playing a lot to become better. So we're not born with those qualities that are required in kitchen.
Yeah.
You have to go through the process, and the process is not easy. And when you make a mistake with the knife, well, you cut yourself. When you don't,
as you did many times.
Yes. When you don't follow directions, you're gonna burn yourself, and you're gonna learn like that. And one day, you don't cut yourself anymore.
Thank you so much for sharing this book. It's really a beautiful memoir. And obviously, if you want to read it, if you are intrigued now, it is 32 Yolks. It is out. Thank you so much.
Thank you, appreciate it.